On the news, President Buhari requires support of party stakeholders in selecting the person who would succeed him. Abducted cleric admits 100 million naira was paid for his release. And court grants Okorocha 5 million naira bill over 2.9 billion naira fraud charges. Well, many thanks for joining us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. President Muhammadu Buhari has charged governors of the All Progressives Congress to ensure that the forthcoming convention to pick a presidential candidate reflects the values and virtues of the party. President Buhari made this known on Tuesday when he met with governors of the All Progressives Congress, APC. During the meeting held at the State House in Abuja, Buhari told the governors that decisions that would enable the party retain power at the center should be taken. The president added that he would require the support of the party stakeholders in selecting the person who would succeed him. The meeting came amid speculations that the president may anoint an aspirant before the convention. Well, to discuss this further, Jide Ojo, political affairs analyst, joins me now. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, President Buhari, in a speech, has said he would like to solicit the support of the governors and other stakeholders in picking a successor. Now, what do you think the president meant by this statement?
What he said now, he said he knows the enormity of responsibility before him, that choosing a successor is not a one-man task. And APC has 22 state governors in his kitty, and he needs the collaboration and support of all the 22, including the deputy governor of Anambra State, who joined the party ahead of the November 16 governorship election last year. So what I'm saying invariably is that the president knew that a tree does not make a forest. Even if he has an anointed candidate, unless the rest of the team buys into that and supports him, it will be a futile effort. And he's very mindful of history. History of APC being a one-term or one-tenure president. He knows that history will not be kind to him if the party cannot retain the 2023 presidential seat. So he has to solicit, although there are speculations that ahead of the conduct of the convention, he may come out with an anointed candidate, but be that as it may, remember, we have 3 modes of party primaries. We have the direct, indirect, and consensus mode of primary. So if he chooses to go the consensus way, he's hoping that they will respect his view as the leader of the party.
Now, we've seen a replication of what happened when the APC wanted to nominate or vote in a national chairman. Now, we've seen the party actually steering clear of elections and going for consensus mode.
In APC, it will be very difficult to do that in a presidential primary. In the March 26, 2022 convention, there were just about 8 or thereabout aspirants. So it's very easy to talk to them and say, look, let's do it this way. But you are talking of about 25 aspirants for the presidential seat. How do you intend to have a consensus? But it's not impossible. In 2019, Buhari was the consensus candidate of APC. In fact, he was the only one that bought the 45 million expression of interest and nomination form. But I'm just saying that it will be more peculiar now to get over 20 or other aspirants to step down for his anointed candidate. It also depends on who the anointed candidate is. If the others know or feel that, oh, okay, this person is better than me, and the party's chances of winning will be boosted if this person is allowed to run for that office, maybe they will consider. And don't also forget, Folashade, that in the nomination form that was sold to all the aspirants, there is a template, there is a template where they have to put their signature saying that they are withdrawing from the race. So if all the aspirants have signed that they have withdrawn from the race and it only needs to be dated, that may make the consensus arrangement to work. But there will still be a lot of political horse trading that will be done because you then need to compensate those who have put their 100 million on the line to contest for those seats. How will you say somebody should just forgo 100 million just like that in this very hard time? And so they definitely, whoever is the anointed or consensus candidate will or may have to settle other people who have equally procured from out of the race. And that, again, will encourage corruption because unless state resources is used to settle those other aspirants, if an individual will have to cough that huge sums of money to settle other aspirants out of the race, he definitely will want to recoup that money when he gets into office, which means it's an investment which he will recoup with a lot of gains.
Jide Ojo, I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but it's this much we can take on the matter. But many thanks for your contribution and thank you for coming. And now to security matters. The kidnapped prelate of the Methodist Church, Samuel Uche, on Tuesday said 100 million naira was paid as ransom before he was released. At a press conference in Lagos, the cleric said the monies were arranged in 5 sacks of 20 million naira. The funds, he explained, were raised by the Methodist Church in Nigeria. He also claimed that neither the federal or state government nor the military or police intervened. The cleric was kidnapped on Sunday in Abia State but was released on Monday. The prelate had been kidnapped alongside 2 others, the Bishop of Methodist Church, Owerri Diocese, and the prelate's chaplain. A federal high court in Abuja has granted bail to former Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha. In Yang Ekwo, the judge granted him bail in the sum of 500 million naira and a surety in like sum. Okorocha and his co-defendant, Ayim Iyerere, had on Monday pleaded not guilty to allegations of stealing 2.9 billion naira public funds while in office. The FCC had on Monday, the 24th, besieged the Abuja home of the senator representing Imo West. He was then arraigned on a 17-count charge of money laundering, to which he pleaded not guilty on Monday. Speaking with journalists at the end of the hearing, counsel to the defendant, Oke Amechi, said the former governor will meet the bail conditions.
They are not more bail conditions. We'll fulfill it. And my client is a notable serving senator. So the idea of running away is ruled out. He will fulfill the condition. He has never run away. Only that, like I said yesterday, he was never properly served. Before you can say he didn't come, you must have served him, but he wasn't served. He has come, and you will see that he will come to take his trial. And the bail conditions are normal bail conditions, will meet them.
The judge, in his infinite wisdom, has granted the second defendant bail on the administrative conditions given by the EFCC. If you look at it, you see that the court was of the view that the second defendant has never defaulted in the administrative bail granted to him, and throughout the proceedings of this case, he has never absented himself. Our client is a very responsible citizen of the federal Nigeria, and the court has affirmed that.
The Commandant General Special Intelligence Squad of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Lagos Command, has paraded 19 suspected oil thieves at an illegal oil storage site in Lagos. Parading the suspects at the Lagos State Command headquarters, the command spokesman told journalists that trucks, machineries, cash and other instruments used for perpetrating the crime were uncovered. More details in this report. Etal Avenue, situated in the heart of Oregun in Ikeja, the Lagos capital, may look like one of thousands of suburbs in the nation's commercial nerve center. But right at the end of this street sits an illegal oil storage site. At the site where automotive gas oil, also known as diesel, is being refined, men of the Commandant General Special Intelligence Squad of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Lagos State Command, arrested 19 suspects linked with the syndicate. Also, more than 80 trucks, some belonging to the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers (NUPENG), spread across a large expanse of land in the area. Giving details of the operation, the spokesperson of the NSCDC Lagos State Command, Abolorin Olumide, explained that 12 pumping machines as well as a sum of 4 million naira was also uncovered at the illegal oil storage site.
The discoveries of items, machines, pumping machines, implements, trucks amounting to over 81 trucks that were also discovered at the crime scene. The commandant has given order for the suspects to be taken down to the command where they will be properly and adequately interrogated and investigated. Also, the dump sites amounting up to 6 have been cordoned by the artificial unit of the command, and every other trucks identified at the crime scene has also been part of the cordoning that the command has done.
So the NSCDC has said upon investigation, it has covered more than 140 drums of adulterated diesel. And it says that investigation is still going on to find out who exactly owns this business that's thriving right in the middle of Ikeja, the Lagos capital. At the NSCDC Lagos Command, 19 suspects, including 18 male and 1 female, were paraded. One of the arrested suspects, Celestine Nando, denied knowledge of any illegal activity on the site. He however said he was employed as a tanker driver.
No, they are selling oil. I see they are selling oil there. I don't know. This is not refinery. Then transload. I meet them. What then transload inside my truck is gas. I don't know where it is the refinery. They just saw they just meet me and they say this truck is spoiled. That I should help them to transload them to my own truck. From there they carry them, come here.
The activities of illegal oil bunkers have continued to rise across major cities in Nigeria. This has led to the proliferation of adulterated products as well as the loss of revenue for the federal government to the tune of billions of naira. Folashade Ogurinde, TV360 News. Glamorization of smoking in movies and product placement has been linked to the high prevalence of smoking in the country. The Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa Kappa made this known at an event to mark the World No Tobacco Day in Abuja. Reoccurring the concern, the Executive Director of Kappa, Akimbode Oluwafemi, emphasized the need for the federal government to be wary of. On the part, the Sub-Regional Coordinator for West Africa Campaign for Tobacco-Free, Hilda Ochefo, appealed to law enforcement agents to ensure the enforcement of the relevant laws aimed at reducing the consumption of tobacco products.
Not only that tobacco causes death, it contaminates the environment and impacts adversely on the health of consumers and non-consumers alike. In the light of the above, today we are making very specific recommendations and call on the Nigerian government that because second-hand smoke contributes to a significant of deaths and ills caused by tobacco use, that the Nigerian government should reinvigorate the enforcement of the smoke-free public places policy, enforce the ban on tobacco advertising, promotion and sponsorship as relates to the entertainment and movie sector, promote interagency collaboration and synergy in the enforcement of the ban on tabs, and then we need to strengthen schemes to make tobacco manufacturers responsible for the environmental and economic cost of tobacco product waste.
We need to step up enforcement in Nigeria, because Nigeria is in such a strategic position. Everybody in Africa is watching what's happening in Nigeria, what's Nigeria doing. For example, where one of the pieces of work that we're doing right now is Smoke-Free Niger, where we are working strategically with regulatory agencies to make our movies smoke-free. Even if we don't see 100%, even if we don't see a total elimination, let's see some kind of sanity in that sector.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, debt servicing may go up 100% of federal government revenue by 2026, IMF warns. Details of this story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. President Muhammadu Buhari has charged governors of the All Progressives Congress, APC, to ensure that the forthcoming convention to pick a presidential candidate reflects the values and virtues of the party. During the meeting held at the State House in Abuja, Buhari told the governors that decisions that would enable the party retain power at the center should be taken. We also told you that a federal high court in Abuja has granted bail to former Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha. In echo, the judge granted him bail in the sum of 500 million naira and a surety in like sum the FCC had on May 24th besieged the Abuja home of the senator representing Imo West. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. Shanghai authorities have begun dismantling fences around housing compounds and ripping police tape off public squares and buildings as the city prepares to lift a 2-month long lockdown at midnight. The enforced restrictions have caused despair among the city's 25 million people and left many struggling to get food or find emergency health care. However, the easing of curbs applies only to those in low-risk areas, as residents will still have to wear masks and are encouraged from meeting in groups. Italy has said it was dropping the requirement to show proof of coronavirus vaccination, recent recovery, or a negative test before entering the country. The health ministry announced that the requirement to show a so-called green pass to enter Italy will not be extended when it expires on May the 31st. Italy was the first European country hit by the coronavirus in early 2020 and has had some of the toughest restrictions, including requiring all workplaces eased and a majority of the population were vaccinated. Most measures were lifted, although masks are still required on public transport and in schools. Well, we'll take a break here and return with more stories and business. To stay with us. Welcome back. Abisola Adibayana joins us for more stories in business. Over to you, Bisola.
Thank you very much, Folashade. Welcome to Business News. In line with the Lagos State Government's economic empowerment agenda, a new plastic collection initiative targeted at reducing the plastic scourge of empty plastic and other plastic waste in the state has been launched. The joint initiative between the Coca-Cola Foundation and the Growing Businesses Foundation aims at strengthening the plastic waste management value chain for the state. Our correspondent Simisola Adigun tells us more in this next report.
Waste management has continued to pose a major challenge in Lagos State despite several attempts by the state government and private organizations to curb the menace. Out of the 9,000 tons of waste generated in the southwest city daily, plastic waste accounts for 86% of the figure. To find a lasting solution to this, the Coca-Cola Foundation, in collaboration with non-governmental organization Growing Businesses Foundation, decided to set up an initiative to tackle the scourge of empty plastic and other plastic waste across the city, causing severe drainage blockages as well as environmental disasters.
Recycling is the way to go because we actually do not want to see our bottles littered in the streets or in the waterways. And our aim is to see the recycling value chain work in Nigeria, be that from the informal sector that collects the bottles, to the collectors that aggregates it, and to the recycler that actually turns it into another bottle. Because we believe that plastic should be treated as a resource, not as a waste. So recycled bottles is the future we'll see for Nigeria.
The Lagos State Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Sam Igube, who was also at the launch of the initiative, explained that the program is in line with Lagos State Government's economic empowerment agenda, which will subsequently improve quality of life for Lagosians.
The vision of Mr. Governor is for a greater Lagos, and therefore that includes all initiatives like this that supports the environment.
Other stakeholders at the event stressed the need for waste to become a source of revenue for the collectors and a means of empowerment for sustainability.
The GBF for Coca-Cola Foundation for the Empowering Collectors Initiative is about how do you scale the numbers of the collectors and the aggregators. How do we create the narrative for an advocacy type narrative that enables us, even in our own individual homes, to understand the impact of plastics on the environment. And when we do that, we begin to take the right decisions, to enable the environment for sustainability.
In this first phase of the project, we are going to be collecting 25,000 metric tons of plastic waste and repurposing it. And in order to do that, we're empowering 10 aggregator companies across 6 different states in Nigeria and empowering 3,000 collectors who we call plastipreneurs, and a significant number of whom will be female.
The waste economy in Lagos is huge, meaning that current monumental waste generation capacity is enough to generate wealth that can be converted into another internal generation avenue for the state. Simisola Adigun, TV360 News.
The International Monetary Fund has warned that debt servicing may go up 100% of the federal government revenue by 2026 if the government fails to implement adequate measures to improve revenue generation. This comes as the federal government spent 4.2 trillion naira on debt servicing between January and November 2021, which represents 76.2% of the 5.51 trillion naira revenue generated during the period. The IMF resident representative for Nigeria, Ari in the Sub-Saharan Africa Regional Economic Outlook report, explained that based on a macro-fiscal stress test that was conducted on Nigeria, interest payments on debts may wipe up the country's entire earnings in the next 4 years. Well, we'll take a break now and return with Nigeria stock market ended the month of May on a negative trend after declining by 1.45% on Tuesday evening. The record dip's negative impact made the market capitalization to lose 422 billion naira at the close of trading. No thanks to stocks like Nigerian breweries, which led others that topped the laggers league. The beverage company's share price dipped by 6 naira 90 kobo after trading activities. It was followed by Northern Nigeria Flour Mill PLC, which shed 1 naira 15 kobo during transactions. On the flip side, as our gainers list for today, Transcorp Hotels PLC and Champion topped the gainers chart as they recorded a combined 59 kobo gains, which obviously had no impact on the market. Activity chart reflected the market sentiment as volume and values depreciated today, which is why we can see 318 million units of shares valued at 3 billion naira exchanging hands in 5,190 deals. Overall, however, Nigeria stock investors booked about 2.16 trillion naira gain in the month of May, thereby defying the market's adage which says sell in May and go away. The huge gain seen in equities came amid longer-awaited rate hike which took place in the later part of the month that ushered in expectations that in near term fixed income yields will be more attractive than equities return. Anyways, we hope it will be the same for the month of June, which is starting tomorrow. On the foreign scene, European stocks were in the negative on Tuesday as US President Joe Biden was set to meet the Federal Reserve's Jerome Powell to discuss runaway inflation. It also came as Russia announced that it had cut off gas supply to the Netherlands amid a payment row. The Dow Jones was mostly down on Tuesday as oil prices gained after Europe placed more restrictions on Russian oil. Tokyo stocks also ended slightly lower on Tuesday as investors locked in gains after the Nikkei surged to a one-month high the previous day. That's all on Stock Market Report. Back to you, Folashade, for the rest of the news.
Well, many thanks to Bisola. And on the foreign scene, European Union leaders say they will block most Russian oil imports by the end of 2022 to punish Moscow for invading Ukraine. The 27-nation organization had spent weeks haggling over a complete ban on Russian oil, but encountered stubborn resistance from Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, who said an embargo would destroy his country's economy. The EU-wide ban will affect oil that arrives by sea, around two-thirds of imports, but not pipeline oil, following opposition from Hungary. Poland and Germany have also pledged to end pipeline imports, meaning a total of 90% of Russian oil will be blocked. Well, up next is Entertainment Reporter News Now.
Nollywood stars have been thrown into mourning following the death of Yoruba movie actor and producer Gbadebo Osmond on Monday. His death was announced by veteran actress Fausat Balogun, also known as Madam Shaje, on her Instagram page. She revealed that the filmmaker died at about 4 a.m. Although there was no mention of the cause of death, the deceased was looking frail and emaciated in a video posted by actress Laide Bakari about 4 months ago. Gbadebo, who died in his 40s, was the chief executive officer of Osmond Communication and was famous for movies such as Ewon Ife, Queen Latifat, Edunjobi, Hired Killer, and many others. Nollywood actor Kalu Ikeagu is in court seeking custody of his 2 children and to dissolve his 6-year marriage with his wife Ijeoma. The actor wants full custody of his 3-year-old son and 10-year-old stepdaughter. Ikeagu had accused his estranged wife of deserting their matrimonial home and preventing him from gaining access to their children. Ikeagu also debunked tales that he sent his wife and kids out of the house and failed to take care of their upkeep. On why he's seeking custody of his stepdaughter, the actor said he had information that his wife wants to relocate the children. The judge adjourned the case until June 23 for continuation of hearing. And that's all there is on the entertainment segment of News Now.
A away from entertainment and now to sport. Novak Djokovic has renewed his 16-year rivalry with Rafael Nadal at the French Open on Tuesday, with the semi-final sport at stake and where 13-time champions Roland Garros' career. Nadal, who turns 36 on Friday, puts his record of 109 wins and just 3 losses in Paris since the title-winning debut in 2005 on the line against the defending champion. In the immediate aftermath of that victory, Nadal admitted that not only was this year's French Open at stake, but possibly his entire playing future. And that's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Bye for now.